You ever ask an AI a question and get back something that's just a little off or maybe a lot off? Well, what if I told you there's a skill that can take your results from kind of mediocre to absolutely magnificent? That skill is called prompt engineering. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can master it. And this is the most important thing to get right from the very beginning. This isn't some secret language or a special handshake for coders. Nope. Prompting is really just the art of conversation, and it's a skill that absolutely anyone can learn. And when I say valuable, I mean really valuable. Look at this. It's a real job posting from the AI company Anthropic. The ability to give clear instructions to an AI is fast becoming one of the hottest skills on the market. We're talking serious demand here. So we know it's a big deal, we know it's valuable, but what is prompt engineering really? Let's dive in and figure out this whole art of conversation with AI. Okay, the best way to think about it is like this. You're giving instructions to an assistant who is incredibly smart and unbelievably fast, but who also takes every single thing you say, well, literally. That assistant is a large language model, or LLM. If you give it a vague request, you're going to get a vague answer. But a clear, well-designed prompt, that's how you guide the AI exactly where you want it to go. So under the hood, this is pretty much how it works. An AI builds its response one word, or what's called a token, at a time. It's constantly just predicting the next most likely piece of the puzzle. Your prompt is the starting point that steers this entire chain of predictions. A great prompt makes the right next token the most obvious choice for the AI, guiding it step by step to the answer you actually need. All right, let's get into our first pro tip. And trust me, this one is a total game changer. It's all about learning to show the AI what you want instead of just telling it. This slide shows you everything you need to know. See, on the left, we've got a zero-shot prompt. That's a direct command with 0 examples. You're basically hoping the AI guesses the format you want. But on the right, that's a few-shot prompt. By providing a couple of examples, you're teaching the AI the exact pattern to follow. You're not just asking, you're demonstrating. And that leads to way more accurate results. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The data backs us up big time. This graph shows that without examples, that's the dotted line, the accuracy is, well, it's pretty low. But look at what happens with the solid line. The moment you provide just a few examples, the accuracy just skyrockets. And that's true for models of all sizes. So the takeaway here is super simple. A few good examples are worth 1,000 words of instruction. Okay, this next technique is, I think, truly mind-blowing. What if you could get an AI to not just spit out an answer, but to actually reason its way to a solution? We've all been there, right? You ask an AI what seems like a simple math or logic question, and the answer it gives you is just confidently, completely wrong. So why does that happen? It happens because when you ask an AI a logic problem, its instinct is to predict an answer all in one go, without actually working through the steps. It just jumps to a conclusion that seems probable, but it hasn't done the real work. The result is an answer that might look plausible, but is just wrong. But watch this. Watch what happens when we use a technique called chain of thought prompting. All we do is add this simple little phrase, let's think step by step. That one sentence forces the AI to slow down and change its whole process. It breaks the problem into smaller pieces, it follows its own chain of logic, and boom, it arrives at the correct answer by following that logical path. It's incredible. Chain of thought is seriously powerful, but there's a lot more in our toolbox. Let's look at a couple of other creative ways you can get exactly what you need from your AI. Okay, this one is just fun. It's called role prompting. On the left, you see a standard kind of dry textbook definition of AI. But on the right, just by telling the AI to explain it in a humorous way, it adopts the persona of a personal butler. You can ask it to be a pirate, a scientist, a poet, whatever you want. This gives you amazing control over the tone and style of what you get back. And what if the AI could use tools, like a search engine? Well, the REACT framework, which stands for Reason and Act, does exactly that. You can prompt the AI to form a thought, then take an action like searching the web, observe the result of that search, and then repeat the cycle. This allows it to find information that goes way beyond its original training data, which makes it incredibly powerful. So, we've covered some amazing techniques. Let's try to bring it all together with a few core principles you can start using right now to really prompt like a pro. First up, be specific. Don't just say write about cars. Give it a format, a length, a topic, a tone. Say something like, write a 3-paragraph blog post about the history of electric cars and make it sound conversational. Second, like we saw, provide examples whenever you possibly can. And finally, and this is a big one, iterate. Your first prompt is just the start of the conversation. Tweak and refine your request based on what the AI gives you back to zero in on that perfect result. So, what this all really boils down to is a shift in how we think. Prompt engineering isn't about coding or programming, it's about learning how to communicate clearly with this powerful new kind of intelligence. It's a dialogue. And now that you have the tools, the only question left is, what are you going to ask next?